Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Radium and today we're going to be starting a brand new modded playthrough on the channel that also serves as a continuation for the lore I've been doing. Now for those who don't know, because the channel's kind of blown up recently, you may need some context behind this, but I've been doing potentially 7 different playthroughs which all link up to one significant lore. And so far we've done 3 playthroughs, a Calamity mod, True Melee playthrough, a Spirit mod playthrough, and a 1 HP playthrough, which all are really fun to do. But this time we're starting a brand new character. Again, it should be really fun to do in all honesty. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get into another playthrough after all the really big videos. And yeah, it's just returning to simplicity for a while. By the way, I need to say this as always quickly before we get into this. A huge thank you to Regot, who is the builder of this entire tree. He always does the bases in these series. And obviously enough, he's once again done a really good job with it. So yeah, just a massive thank you to him, and I'll be leaving his channel in the description if you want to check him out. As stated before though, this is a Druid playthrough, which means only Druid weapons are allowed to be used. These are kind of unique weapons in my opinion, that are an entirely new class in the Mod of Redemption mod. There's a couple of really good weapons, but in all honesty I've never really checked out the class before. I've seen Riso play it however, who's another great Terraria YouTuber who does a bunch of playthroughs, so I am excited to give it a go. Well, okay, we've got our first chest already, which is really nice. Unfortunately, it's an enchanted boomerang, which we can't use. However, I'm very much liking the 2 gravitation potions, especially this early on. And if we can manage to get a pair of Hermes Boots, we can pretty much traverse the entire world and loot all the Sky Islands on the first night. Okay, I'm going to be honest, the first thing we need to do is get a viable weapon. I have no idea how to play this mod, but this staff is just obviously enough not going to cut it. So yeah, let's prioritize maybe getting a new weapon as quickly as possible, and then trying to fight a couple of bosses. Okay, in truth, I'm just going to use the gravitation potions now and pray that we can find a lucky horseshoe and the shiny red balloon, which are both really good accessories to have this early on. Okay, first Sky Island has popped up incredibly early on. As long as a harpy doesn't spawn, we're good to go. But instead we've been blessed with slimes falling from the sky for some reason. Okay, so we do not want the Star Fury. Ooh, that's fun, but let's just keep looting. Okay, Sky Island number 2 has managed to pop up. It's pretty much a guaranteed accessory and lucky horseshoe. I mean, even if we don't get a shiny red balloon now, which is very probable, that's very good to have. And now we don't have to worry about full damage at all for pretty much the rest of the game. Okay guys, I think I have an idea for my first weapon. I want to go for this Demonite Stave. It does look incredibly good, and all I need is 8 Demonite bars, and I can use the bombs I have right now to quite simply blow them up, and soon enough I'll have enough to get it. Okay, if I'm correct, the Sky Island should contain a shiny red balloon, and yes, okay, I've been that lucky at least. That's pretty nice. Okay, since I'm here, and I just dropped down from that Sky Island with the shiny balloon, I feel like it's worth looting the underground jungle. You know, we never know if we could find something good like an Anklet of the Wind, maybe even materials for a new staff, if we can get past the first few enemies, that is. Alright, despite having looted a few chests already, this has pretty much yielded me nothing interesting yet. So I'm really hoping this chest can change that. And there it does. Okay, Anklet of the Wind is really good actually. Now all we need is the Hermes Boots and we can start grinding towards the Lightning Boots. Okay guys, 8 chests later and I've still pretty much gotten nothing. This is kinda getting ridiculous because I've looted so much and still just literally not a single resource I can use properly. Save for the Anklet of Wind, but everything else is just mediocre at best. Okay, I nearly died to an ancient stone golem, but since he's here he might as well be worth killing, if I can do so at least. So I'll summon my little pixie and hopefully we can just out DPS him. Maybe we'll get something cool from it. Ooh, we did get something. We got an ancient world stave. I don't know whether this is a druid weapon or not, but if it is, then that's very nice. Let's see. If it lets me pick it up. Okay, we got it, but we are dead. Okay, I'll check it out in a moment. Jesus Christ. Okay, it seems like it would be a decent stave, but unfortunately it's not one I can use right now because it uses 100 mana. And I don't know whether you guys can tell, but that's pretty unobtainable at this moment in time. However, I'll still put it in my taskbar, or hotbar I should say, because I think it will be a useful thing to use eventually. It seems like more of a support item though, and it uses a bunch of mana. Alright, we got some more Demonite here. That's another 4 towards the 24 required for the Demonite Stave. And yeah, then we'll have a pretty good weapon that'll help us hopefully get through our first couple of bosses. Oh, there we go. Alright, first big item, I'd say, Hermes Boots. Okay, well, now progression is definitely being made. I'll also take the Gills Potion just for the sake of it, really. And yeah, now let's go look for a jump bottle, and then we're pretty much set. Okay, ooh, that's a pretty big discovery. I wasn't going to put that in, but 16 emeralds means we're able to get an emerald hook now, which is one of my favourite items, period. Okay, yet another life crystal, that's very nice. And whilst I'm here, by the way, I should say that I am using quality of life mods in this playthrough, such as Loai AFK, Alchemist NPC, and Vein Miner, which they don't change the game too much. Like, you could do what I'm doing now with like no quality of life mods and still do it just fine, but it speeds up recording a lot, which is the only real purpose behind them. Okay, now at least we're up to 200 HP, which means the goblin army can arrive. And I'm also going to just place some basic crafting stations down, and I can make the dig faster, which I'm going to do. Actually, hang on, I can also make the Druidic Altar, which is used for various Druid weapons, and I think I'm definitely going to be getting myself these Druidic Daggers at a reasonable amount, because trust me, they are really, really good. Okay, there goes the Emerald Hook, and I should also make myself a Furnace, which I believe I can make, if I am correct. Oh wait, I need to place a workbench first. Okay, I'm going to make a bunch of silver and gold, and I'm going to make myself a gold pickaxe, as well as that a silver axe. Because efficiency in early game is very important in my opinion, maybe even more so than the weapons you're wielding. Okay, with our newfound mobility, I honestly think we're in an incredibly good spot to maybe even look at doing our first boss. I know for a fact I can do Eye of Cthulhu with this loadout, and that would get us the Demonite, but in truth that fight might even take an entire night, so I don't really know yet. Okay, well I didn't see this, but we have a pyramid in our world, believe it or not, so we might as well loot it now. And hopefully we get a sandstorm in a bottle, because obviously that's the desired option for any player. Yeah, let's just see. Okay, down below we have, oh my god. Oh wow, that's interesting. Well, thank you game, that's kind of nice, because now we are pretty much ready to fight most bosses in pre-hard mode. Okay, as a plus, I think I can make unlimited Druidic Daggers now. There we go. And now we've got 1066 of these, and I retract that statement. For some reason, they're still broken, which is not fun. Then again, having 1,000 of them is more than enough. Okay, whilst I'm here, I've decided I'm kind of interested in looting the underground ice biome, because there's this weird massive opening. And, I mean, if there is a cave opening here, that would be really nice. But then again, I don't really mind digging as such, so we can just loot the underground ice for a bit. Oh baby, there we go. Blizzard in a bottle has been secured. And at this stage I can take off my lucky horseshoe for a little bit, although I do need to be careful. Just because I'd rather have triple jump than nullification, if that makes sense. Additionally, I don't think I need flurry boots, so just ice skates would be nice, but we get flurry boots anyways. And I think they're better than the Hermes Boots we're wearing, so I'll definitely take that. Okay, another life crystal, that bumps us up to 220 HP. Jesus Christ, there are so many life crystals here, but at the same time, there are a bunch of enemies to deal with. However, these Druidic Daggers should help me just take care of all of them, hopefully. And even if that's not the case, we can just get out of here, because, you know, we're very mobile at this stage. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's another 2 life crystals here as well. We're going to reach max health in a matter of moments. And I know it's kind of almost cheating at this stage because it's so overpowered, but I'll definitely take it, because I will be struggling. Okay, Jesus Christ, there's another life crystal, which means we are 1 crystal away from maximum HP. And then we can start investing our remaining life crystals into stuff like heart lanterns, which, you know, provides extra regeneration and such. And there we go, that sums up our 400 HP journey, and now we have maximum health, which is just bizarre this early on. Ooh, okay, I think I see some very big news, guys. If my calculations are correct, that is the last piece of Demonite we are going to need. So I'm just going to chuck some bombs down, quickly grab this life crystal, and then we can recall and get ourselves a Demonite Stave. And on that note, maybe start fighting some bosses. Okay, there we go, with the 8 Demonite bars. I think they made it just a Druidic Altar, and there we go, Mesmerizing is what we got. Which is horrendous, because it reduces the damage by an insane amount, but holy crap, this is a cool stave. Okay. Okay, I guess there's no time like the present to fight the Eye of Cthulhu then, as long as these enemies don't continue being annoying. I'll pop a Hunter Potion so you guys can see more easily. And this is already a bad idea, I can tell, because of the stupid amount of enemies spawning. I'm cutting corners in this fight, by the way, as in fighting stupidly. Quite frankly, because of the amount of mobility we've been given. At this stage, we can pretty much fly in terms of, like, jumps. As triple jump combined with shiny red balloon is absolutely insane. And if I were to get the frog leg, that would only be amplified. Okay, we have activated the second phase fairly quickly, which is, you know, a good thing, but I do need to be careful because the boss will do a lot of damage regardless of my health, and with the amount of enemies on screen, it's going to make it even more unbearable to deal with. I've also realised this weapon's good against this kind of boss because the projectiles are so quick. Like, they don't home or anything as far as I understand, but it's still a good weapon for this battle, and, you know, I very much respect that. Okay, it's time to activate our bonus again for the final period of the fight. This is very hectic, but as said, because of the amount of life crystals we've received, there's really not too much to worry about, so I'm kind of just spamming, and it's doing enough damage to defeat the boss. And yeah, now we're in the frenzied state of the fight, which is good fun. Hopefully we can take it out now. And there we go, first boss defeated. Oh god, that was kind of stressful actually by the end, because this staff is just not good as it is now. But that's alright. And additionally, having the Shield of Cthulhu is amazing, and we'll be able to craft ourselves a new staff. Okay, I'm actually kind of intrigued to see if there's such thing as a Crimson Staff. And there is. I'm going to be making this one, and yay, we got another bad one. That's really fun. Oh god, this has not been lucky for us, but yeah, now we have one of each, which is kind of cool. I just thought it would be worth making one of each, just so we can see what they're like. Okay, this may sound slightly foolish, but I've decided I'm going to challenge the Eater of Worlds straight up. This is obviously a corruption world, so we're going to be doing it, not the Brain of Cthulhu. And this weapon isn't ideal for the fight, but I still reckon we'll be able to do it with these two combined. Okay, let's give this boss a go, if that is correct. Okay, come on, there we go. Alright, the Issue of Worlds is in our world, but these enemies are not going to make it easier for me, because, you know, they're kind of blocking me off to get to my arena. However, I am going to be fighting this boss on the surface, obviously. I would like as much space as possible for this really difficult fight. And oh my goodness, okay, the Druidic Dagger is a godsend for this fight, oh my god. Because the way it works is it targets a single segment, but because of how tightly packed together the segments are, each burst does a lot of damage to every single segment, which is really, really good. The only problem I can see with this method is that it results in a lot of splits, so we're probably going to have to deal with a lot of separate Eater of Worlds throughout this fight. But at the same time, because of how good these things are, I reckon we won't really need to worry about it too much. As well as that, despite our damage output and relatively good defense in terms of health, we still pretty much have little to no regeneration set up, as I was too lazy to make the Heart Lanterns, and there's no regenerated buffs or a band of regeneration for that matter. So, if we do take a string of hits, it might honestly end in a death. Luckily for us, however, I don't think it's going to come to that, as the boss is already on the cusps of death. Which is, you know, kind of crazy. We're taking out the worms relatively well. Better than I thought we would with this thing. And yeah, the fight's pretty much come to a close. This really does show how much I missed out when I did my previous Mod of Redemption playthrough. Because I was struggling on expert mode for some reason, and the Druid weapons I just completely dismissed. Whereas I could have, fought bosses so much easier with weapons like this one. And by the looks of it, that's the last segment of the Eater of Worlds. And there we go. What a fight. The worm scarf, is still amazing in this, so it's honestly an accessory I might use. Especially considering it was lucky enough to give me a warding one as well. Again, absolutely amazing. But let's focus on picking up our shadow scales and maybe making some new gear. Okay, I didn't have quite enough bombs for that, but that's okay. Let's just go straight away and make ourselves a bunch of Demonite. Let's go for the Nightmare Pickaxe. Let's go with the War Axe of the Night, and I think I'll skip out on the armor, honestly. Quite frankly, because I'm doing fine right now and I don't really see the need for an armor. And let's go fight a modded boss, I suppose. Oh, okay, well, after a lot of searching for a Heart of Thorns, we didn't find it, but we found something equally interesting. The spawner for the Eagle Crest Golem. This is a much later boss you're supposed to fight. I believe maybe even Skeletron tier after Queen Bee. So, I guess we should fight it now, if it wants to stay around that is, and just give it a go really. Okay, here we go. Eagle Crest Golem is now alive. So, yeah, this is a later boss, but at the same time I reckon we can do it with enough ease. As long as we don't be stupid about it, and yeah, this is a good fight, in all honesty. It's kind of difficult with the enemies spawning, but at the same time, it does seem to be perfectly manageable for the time, even without an arena, which is nice. One thing that's definitely concerning me about this fight is I think I've only got about 3 minutes to do it, because the sun is already very far in the sky, and I can even see it starting to hue into a sunset, which is kind of scary, because it means we need to defeat this boss very, very quickly. And hopefully we're capable of doing that. Yeah, this fight is overall very, very, very simple. You quite literally just jump over the bosses in an archway. You get hit occasionally, but it is kind of difficult potentially, especially if his AI decides to go weird. I don't know if there's a second phase or whatnot to this fight, but I guess we'll find out in time. Okay, the fight looks like it's about to be coming to a close, but we do need to make some good time for this final segment. The last 1000 HP is going to be very challenging, especially if the boss just decides he doesn't want to die. For example, in this phase where he spins, his defense is increased, and that'll make the fight last even longer. But he is at 500 HP now, so we should be good to go on this. Overall, this fight is honestly a joy to do. It's very simple, but it's very good fun. And a stark contrast from everything we've already done. So there we go, boom. The boss is officially defeated. We got a slingshot, which we can't use unfortunately, and it doesn't even look like that great of a weapon. But at the same time, we would get an Eye of the Eagle Crest Golem, which is used for, let's see, the Ancient Sigil, which I believe that's a much later item. I couldn't tell you for sure, but yeah, that's much later on. I've just realised that the Demonite Stave goes to this new stave, which is the equivalent of like the Druid class Knight's Edge, if that makes sense. And this is a weapon I definitely want to get, so in truth I might start farming towards it, considering I can already get 3 out of 4 components for it. I already have this stave. The grass stave is from, I believe, stingers and jungle spores, very simple. The molten stave is just from 20 hellstone most likely. Oh wait, never mind, 8 hellstone bars, which is so incredibly cheap. And last but not least, I believe there's like a Mirror Master equivalent, which is kinda good, but I couldn't really tell you, and that's going to be the last one we get. With all of this so far done though, I feel like it's a very good time to go to the underworld, so I'm just going to start digging. This is going to be a very long process, but one I can do in a matter of moments, as long as I'm efficient with it. So I'll meet you guys back once we've reached the underworld. Okay then, well, we've officially arrived in Hell. Luckily for us, we don't need that many chunks of hellstone. We only need 24 to make this work, which is not a demanding amount at all. So we can most likely just secure a single obsidian skin potion, farm out for a while and have enough. Or alternatively, we can literally just loot a single good pocket of hellstone and just make the stave. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. A meteorite has landed, which opens up the possibility of doing another boss fight, although the meteor doesn't mean too much for the Druid class as a whole. That's still something cool that we can get in a moment. Okay, there we go. I believe we have enough now. So if we just recall, we can break this furnace and we never need it again. So thank you for your service, but yeah, you're gone. And we can actually make bonfire daggers, which I've never seen before, and they look really good, but unfortunately for some reason they're throwing weapons. However, let's get back on track. Hellstone bars. So I believe we have 29. Yep, that is correct. We can make ourselves the molten pickaxe right off the bat. But most importantly, we can make the Molten Stave. And I don't know how good this thing's going to be. It seems kind of weird to use, in all honesty. Maybe this would have been really good against Siege of Worlds because it's a grounded enemy, but against enemies like Skeletron or the Queen Bee, I'm not seeing too much use for this, unfortunately. Okay guys, I believe this is the last Hornet we need to kill. And then we have the ability to craft this new stave. And hopefully this one's better than this because the Demonite Stave just isn't really cutting it for me anymore. However, you know, it's definitely done a good job in terms of the time it's spent with us. But let's see, there we go, the grass stave. I believe this is the right one, yep. And what does it do? Okay, it shoots these weird leaf crystals. We got a blessed one as well, which is pretty amazing. But it's got -1 critical strike, which is very bad. And I don't really know how effective it's going to be, but it looks like a good weapon, honestly. Okay, this leaves one more step for the fight. And that final step is going to be defeating Skeletron to unlock the dungeon. This is going to be a process that's going to probably be quite annoying. But at the same time, I'll construct a simple arena, and I know for a fact I can do Skeletron. So it's just a matter of time until we can unlock this new weapon. Oh, okay, apparently there's a slime arena as well, so I might as well do that quickly. Fighting the King Slime is not a necessity, but, you know, since I've been given the opportunity, I might as well do it. Okay, there we go. After about 10 minutes of spamming enemies, the King Slime has finally decided to spawn, which is nice. Okay, so that's not an ideal start, because I almost died at full damage. But with this stuff, we should be able to just take him out really quickly. And I was right about my hypothesis with the Molten Stave. It's really good against grounded enemies that, like, touch down a lot, but against flying enemies, it just does not do much damage. Because, like, you guys are seeing how good this thing is now. It's absolutely incredible in terms of the damage it's outputting. And yeah, the fight's pretty much done already, which is crazy. There we go, 100 HP remaining, and the fight's over. That's honestly crazy. With that said though, I'm going to properly prepare for Skeletron now, and there shouldn't be any more interruptions. Okay guys, I guess there's no time like the present to give this fight a go. I really don't know what my best weapon's going to be for this battle. I'd assume maybe the Grass Stave, or probably still the Demonite Stave, just because the others are so inconsistent right now. But again, I can't really figure it out just yet. Yep, I was right again. This thing is still the optimal choice because of the very accurate and high speed projectiles. And it'll allow us to get through this first phase really quickly, and then maybe we can switch it up. In truth, this fight is as easy as ever because, quite frankly, there's not much to the boss. It's just a bunch of simple dashing and running around and trying not to mess up too much. And with this new ability, we're able to out DPS the hands very quickly, but because of the lackluster weapons still, it's going to be a long fight. Okay, let's try something else. I'm going to summon the Molten Guardian, because he does a much cooler effect in my opinion that might help us a bit more than the Demonite Stave's right click, and I think this is going to work quite well. Now, however, the first hand is defeated and the boss is shooting skulls, which is going to make this fight slightly more challenging, but I reckon we're still capable of doing it, and wow, that's doing a lot of damage. Okay, here we go again. The Molten Guardian has been summoned, which is a good sign because now we can just absolutely bombard the boss and do loads of damage. And yeah, this is going really, really well. A best way of doing damage in this fight as a whole is standing as still as possible and dashing like this, but it's slightly more difficult to manage as well, so the extra damage definitely does come at a price. Okay, this should be the last burst needed to win the fight, if I'm correct. If we just do this and literally stay as still as humanly possible, not really jumping but taking hits stupidly for the sake of more damage, we should be able to win this fight now, which is mental because this was incredibly easy. And there we go. The caverns are heated with dragon bones, so that's another significant point of progression, I suppose. And let's see what we get. We got pretty much everything, which is nice. The bone glove, the book of skulls, which we can't use but is still nice to have. And yeah, I suppose it's time to start looting the dungeon. Okay, chest number 1 grants us the Muramasa, which is not what we want, but it's still something, I suppose. We just need more golden keys, more like dungeon slimes, and just anything that'll help us as well. Because getting like a cobalt shield and shadow key would still be nice, I think. Ooh, a goblin army is approaching. That's something else, and I don't really want to do it right now, but it's there, I suppose. So, I mean, I'll have to do it, regardless of whether I want to or not. Oh, man. Okay, an Aqua Scepter. Again, not what we want at all. Ooh, okay, we got something. We got a Gloom Shroom Bag. I don't know what it is or how effective it is, but let's just see what it does. Okay, so I've heard a lot about these shroom bags, or these like seed bags, and apparently some of them are very good, and oh my god, what? Okay. Well then, we might not even need this new stuff, because this seems beyond broken, so thank you game for the good RNG. Oh, wait a second, I feel like we got another item. There we go. A Druid's Hat. 15% increased Druidic damage. That is amazing, actually. I did not think it was going to be that much. But, I mean, there we go. First significant item. I'm going to guess that's the equivalent of, like, the Druid's Wizard Hat, which you get from Tim. Something along those lines, but, I mean, I'm very happy with that. Okay guys, we got a new equipable called the Skeleton Watering Can. It's a Druid accessory and I kind of want to use it, but unfortunately at this very second I don't have space for it on. It increases Druidic damage and does something else I can't really look at right now, but I mean it's a cool item to have and I'll definitely be using it sooner or later. Okay guys, literally an hour later I've looted the entire dungeon and would you believe it, not a single one of these staves. I've looted about 20 chests, I've received like 5 handguns in the end, 3 shadow keys, and if one of these 2 chests doesn't have it, I'm just going to load the stave in, or go to another world that I know for a fact is Mod of Redemption, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay guys, so neither of those had it either, so I do think this is just a bugged world, because there's no way I wouldn't find one in this entire dungeon, and literally about 20 chests looted, so quite frankly, I'm just going to load it in. I know that sounds unfair potentially to some of you, but just take my word for it, I've literally been here for an hour and a half by the end of this, and yeah, it's all I'm going to do. Okay, here's the stuff. This is Heroes mod I'm using to get it, by the way. We're going to grab it, and we're just going to go back and delete the mod, because I'm not using it for anything else. Okay, so now that I have all 4 of the staves, I think it's time we make this upgrade. So here we are, the Lunar Crescent Stave, and oh, we got a rotten one, thank you game. But I don't even know whether this thing's any good. I don't even know what it does. Okay, it shoots fallen stars, which is not ideal. Oh no, big shocker, it's not actually that good of a weapon, but oh no. To be honest, I don't really need it as such, because it's a nice weapon to have. But at the same time, the Gloom Shroom Bag is so good that I think I'll just be using this for a while. This is also important. I saw that we can make ourselves the Gloom Mycelium armor, which is constructed from bones and the Gloom mushrooms. I feel like that's definitely going to be a very good set, especially considering it gives us extra mana, which is amazing. So there we go. I feel like it's worth getting rid of the 15% bonus for the Druid set, because this is just a lot better. 5% increased Druidic damage, even more, and even more. So that's 15% in itself, as well as that extra defense, extra life, and increased night vision. So yeah, that's absolutely incredible. But on that note, I'm going to be ending this video off. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I will see all of you in the next one. Peace out, guys.